The following is an excerpt from the book Experiences of Thought by Anthony Kahn, available now on Amazon.com and Kindle. Loving logic in matters of mind, light and darkness. Have you ever looked at the shadow of a lit candlestick? The dark form of the wax stick flickers plainly on the wall, and the wick is clearly visible, but there is no flame. Of course, there is no flame, because light has no shadow. It is somehow both obvious and yet surprising at the same time. The first time we become aware of the fact that darkness is actually no more than the absence of light. Light is in many ways the herald of the universe, bearing tidings of events both near and far, and when we are deprived of it, we dwell in the shadow of uncertainty. Children the world over are scared of the dark, and at some level, so too are adults. Why else is it the preferred setting for spooky happenings in just about every movie or ghost tour ever conceived? We have a natural apprehension of darkness, and whilst light is the province of good, darkness is decidedly the domain of evil. In the physical sciences, one often deals with the concept of entropy, which can be thought of as the degree of disorder or randomness present in a system. In accordance with the second law of thermodynamics, entropy in a self-contained system is always observed to increase monotonically with time, a process that is irreversible. Indeed, entropy plays a significant role within macroscopic systems in giving us the direction of the arrow of time. Just as a gas evolves with time toward reaching a state of thermal equilibrium at which point convection ceases, the universe itself marches ever on toward a state of increasing randomness. Why then do we human beings and the animal kingdom as a whole appear to exhibit order and indeed thrive on and create order? Is this not a violation of the second law of thermodynamics? None other than Erwin Schrödinger, who we met back in section 3.5, answered this conundrum by pointing out that the second law of thermodynamics applies only to closed systems. It is completely permissible that human beings and animals should reduce entropy in their environs, so long as entropy is not reduced in the larger system of which they are a part. Furthermore, given the possibly infinite size of the universe, it is reasonable that the capacity for infinite order may always remain. Regardless, in contrasting the behavior of conscious beings, such as ourselves, with the mechanics of the material world around us, we begin to see that consciousness seems to follow its own opposing trajectory. Wherever living beings are concerned, order and complexity is ever on the up. Returning to our consideration of light and darkness, it is not too hard to see how these terms have become synonymous with good and evil, respectively. For goodness is embodied by order and understanding, whereas evil is its absence, where unpredictability and uncertainty reign. Goodness is all that is constructive, and by its nature it grows ever greater through new understanding and connection with all that which is like to it. Evil, on the other hand, is destructive and thus can never build or grow beyond selfish interests. Goodness is the contents of the image, the signal, whereas evil is merely the background noise. Though there may be much darkness, it is ever disappearing as light conquers its domain. The root of all darkness is ignorance, and ignorance is nothing more than the absence of experience. It is logical and natural that goodness must triumph in the end. For our reality is the kingdom of the conscious mind, and although the mind may begin life selfish and small, it can only ever grow in understanding and light, a process that is irreversible.